In this video, we're going to talk about AG grids, table, and also chart. So we're going to have these 5 widgets. For a simple table widget, the code looks very simple. This one is with column definitions. So you actually don't even really need this data on the widgets.json. So I could actually delete it and things should still work, allegedly. Refresh backend, everything works, okay? The only difference really, and all the data is the same. The only difference is that when you actually have these, you are specifying a bit more what are the column names, headers, and things like that. So if I now refresh backend, a second, I need to save. Okay, so look at this. The header name here is price dollar, which is not there. Let me refresh the backend. Yeah, you can see now we have price dollar. Okay, so this is the type of tweaks that you can do where you can select what is the header name, what is the cell data type. This is important for when we using the UI manipulate the data. And then, yeah, you can also set the width size and a few other things. You can check the AG grid documentation for what is possible to do with that. Another thing you can do is you can change the coloring of the table elements, either the background or the text. And as you can see here, that is done with this render fn params, and then you set color rules. So you can have like ranges that if it's in between, it's going to be filled of this color, of a fill, in this case is false, which means that it's going to be the text, but otherwise could be just the background. And in this case, we have a full green background when it's greater than. So you can do this type of like manipulations, and you can also like format it as a percentage, and then you can have a max width and min width as well of the row. So there's quite a few controls that you can do. And then I want to show this guy here, overcard, okay? So the overcard is data table column definition still. So this is kind of the dynamics that you need to remember or check on the documentation. And we have this render function overcard, okay? For the overcard, we want to say, okay, there's going to be a cell field. Here's the title, and here's what the markdown looks like. But these here between these brackets means that are values that are going to be coming in, value found the date and description based on the row we are overing on. So what does this look like in practice? We can go down and we can see, okay, look at the mock data. It comes like this, where it's the typical like JSON response, but now you have this nested variable, which is the name like itself, which is the value. And then you get the description and found the date that come alongside it. And so those are not going to be visible on the output, as you will see here. It's not going to be visible, but when you over, we're going to know how to render it based on that setup of the parameters above. Okay, very simple. Now we go into the table to chart widget. So table to chart widget, the only thing that we do different is that we enable chart here, which is set to true. And that's pretty much it. This means that it defaults to having this chart mode open. But if it was closed, it just looks like this. So we're basically just telling from a programmatic perspective that we want it to open into the chart mode. This is with chart mode open, but without nothing really done to it. And then let's say that we actually want to do something to it. The way you would do it, and at least the way I recommend, is going to the chart settings here. And then let's say we actually don't want it like that. We want, let's say, a bar chart. Okay. You want it like this. The way I recommend for the formatting is actually to export it, the apps.json, like this, because then you can actually, I'm going to add it here to show you. And I'm going to delete it after. Table to time series widget. So if you look for it, table to time series widget. Oh wait, it's going to be the this guy, the ID. Here you go. That's the last one here. So you can see that this is how I control how does the data get rendered essentially. So I don't really do it from a UI perspective, from a coding perspective. I do it on the UI. So maybe I have a widget that is just like this, but when I create my perfect like version of an app that I want, I set the charting mode that I want, and then I save it with the export to apps.json. So that just makes my life much easier to render the data in the way that I want.